A lot of people tell me that they want to make a zine so bad, but they have a hard time picking a topic. If you find yourself stuck on picking a zine topic, this video I made last year may help you. Basically, I show you a method of how I pick zine topics. I like to make a list of things that I love and things that I hate, and then I go through a process of elimination and circle the one that I most feel like making a zine about. The reason I do the love and hate thing is because I know either column will bring out strong emotions from me and I won't run out of things to say about it. If that method of picking zine topics doesn't do it for you, I have another method that I would love to share with you guys today. So my absolute favorite way to brainstorm zine ideas is by putting a bunch of random words onto scraps of paper, and then I throw them into a beanie, shake the beanie all up, and then I choose 2 scraps without looking. The challenge here is to be able to make a zine out of those 2 words. Whether I follow the words literally or loosely doesn't matter. The purpose is just to get my brain to think in a new, fresh way. Here's a video I made a couple years ago, I believe. I don't remember when I made this, but I use this method pretty often, and this is just one of my favorite videos I've made from it. I ended up pulling the words socks and file, and I remember the only thing I could think about when I pulled those words was like an accordion file that you find in offices. So I ended up making an accordion file out of paper, and then I made mini sock zines to go into the file. So basically, the socks are organized based on experiences I've had. So when you go through the file, the sock zines represent times I wore these particular socks while going through very particular experiences. So I have socks for stuff like falling in love, quitting a job, or experiencing the death of a loved one. And it was a really fun way to be able to get my brain moving in a different direction. You know, it really took me out of the monotony of just sitting around trying to come up with ideas, and it really just kind of like moved the gears in my head to think differently. So if you like this method of making zines, I'm gonna go through with you step by step how exactly I do this so you could get started too. So to get started, I go onto this website called Random Word Generator, and I write down about 20 words onto scraps of paper like this. I find that using this word generator helps me be less biased, so the words are truly random, but feel free to choose your words any way you want. Once the words are written down, I throw them into a beanie, but you can also use like a hat or a bowl, whatever is most accessible for you. Then I shake the beanie up and take out 2 scraps of paper. So after choosing the random words, it's time for me to think up of an idea to make those words, how to put them into a zine. So I think it's important to note here though that this process doesn't usually happen in one sitting for me. Sometimes I choose the words and days will pass, or maybe even weeks will pass before I figure out a way to put them together. Or, you know, I just get busy and I have to put them in the back of my brain and then allow life to happen, allow different experiences to occur in my life, and then I'll think of the random words and then I'm like, oh cool, I have an idea for this. So don't feel bad if it takes you a while to find the inspiration to make the 2 words into a zine. Creating art requires a lot of patience and just allowing the ideas to flow into you, and sometimes in order to do that, you have to forget about the art and just live your life. Don't kick yourself if that idea doesn't come to you right away. But when the idea does come to you, now you have to make it. So the 2 words that I got are paint and cat. And like I said earlier, this took a while to come together for me, but then I remembered this random selfie I posted a few weeks ago where my eyeliner was just popping. It was looking so good. And one of my friends responded to it and asked for a tutorial about how I do my liner like that. When she responded, I thought about making a video for her to just send to her privately to show her how I do my eyeliner, but I just kind of got busy and forgot. But while thinking about this interaction, the idea came to me to make a zine like that. So basically what I'm saying is that I was super inspired to connect the 2 words I got out of the hat, or out of the beanie, to that interaction I had with my friend. I was like, okay, cool. The eyeliner that I do, the style is called cat eyeliner, and the liner is kind of like paint for your face. So I ended up connecting the words like that, and then decided to come up with this mini zine that will be a tutorial about how I get my eyes to look like that. So before I start on any zine, I always make a blueprint or a draft zine, and I basically plan out what I want each page to include, and I let this draft be pretty crappy and messy, and then when I'm ready to make the final zine, it will be much more organized. While drafting this, I was thinking about how difficult it was for me to do my eyeliner when I first started wearing makeup. And if you know me, you know I love cat eyeliner and I wear it often, so it's very easy for me to do it now. But while making the draft, I was like, oh my god, this still might be hard for someone else because not everyone takes in information in the same way. How can I make this even easier? My brain started thinking, how would I want an eyeliner tutorial if I was a beginner? So to answer that question, if I'm being really honest, I'm kind of lazy, and I would pay pay someone to put the eyeliner on for me. That's how I would feel as a beginner, you know? It's like I don't want to deal with having to do that myself and having the patience of learning how to do it. I just want someone to just do it to me. And then boom, I had this idea. I was like, what if I can make a tool that will be simple for beginners, but also would work for people that are maybe used to doing their makeup, but just really lazy and want a straight line right away. I mean, tools like this exist. I've seen plenty of them, but the one I had in my head was like, it could be really cute, it could be pink, and I don't know, all these ideas started flowing into my head. I really had no idea how I was gonna make this tool original to me, like how, because like I said, these tools exist. I've seen like eyeliner stencils and stuff, but I was like, how can I make my own, like a breeze version of it, you know? So I started drawing up blueprints of it and thinking of the type of material I could use to make it out of, and I came up with this heart. And at first I tried cardstock, but when I used it, the paper would bend because it's so thin, and so that was very frustrating. I quickly realized that paper just wouldn't work for this. So somewhere down the line of my experimenting, I thought of chipboard, which is like the same material they use for puzzles and coasters, and I had a few sheets of this laying around for some other craft stuff I did in the past, so I popped this into my Cricut, it cut out my design, and I was able to make this tool to get the perfect line to start your cat eyeliner. I buffed the edges, painted it, added glitter, sealed it with Mod Podge, and after finalizing all of that, I started on my zine. If I had to give you a rough timeline of how long this took me to make from the moment I picked the words out of the beanie to the final zine, I'd say it took me probably like 2 days. Mind you, the first day I was really busy with other stuff, so after I picked my words, I just let it rattle around in my brain, and it wasn't until day 2 that I came up with my ideas and executed them. So overall, it probably took me a total of like 30 something hours, you know, but it was really fun to make. You know, I didn't use any fancy tools. I just took some selfies and glued them in a zine all by hand. So this is more of a traditional sense of making a zine, which I think is really accessible for anyone that's watching this. You know, you could just pick out the 2 words out of the beanie and just use whatever's around you. It was really fun and I'm proud of it. And if people want to learn how they could do their eyeliner like me, they can read the zine, which I think is so cool. Like, I don't know, that's just very exciting to me. And the process always fascinates me because it started off as a zine, right? But then it turned into this practical product that I can now use to help me with my eyeliner, or someone else can use it as a beginner, you know? This thing turned into something much bigger than a zine, and it's all handmade, and you know, no matter how long it took me, I created something, and it's so important for us to create things. Can you see why I love this method so much? I mean, it just gets your brain to think in ways that I don't think I would have kind of been guided if I was just sitting around, you know, or the traditional way that I like to think of ideas is just letting them come to me. But sometimes you shouldn't wait around for inspiration. You should just get started. And I think by doing this method, it really pushes me to shift my perspective. So I hope that you guys were inspired by this video, and I hope I was able to show you just how easy it is to come up with zine ideas. I mean, the execution may not be easy and it may be time consuming like you saw me do with my process, but there are ways to think of zine topics. There are methods. There are lots of ways to make your zine too. This is just one of many. If we all had to use those 2 same words to make a zine, like right now, if I was like, everybody watching this, make a zine out of the 2 words cat and paint, we all would have came up with different zine ideas. I mean, maybe someone else would have thought of the cat eyeliner thing, but I think that's very unlikely. I think we all would have came up with different ways to approach this, and that's what's so interesting about zines, is that you can really just let your imagination run wild and use whatever tools you have available. It's super accessible. Anyway, if you thought this video was helpful, please share it with someone else to help them get started with their zines, and also leave a comment about what words you end up choosing, or tell me your method of how you pick zine topics, because like I said, there are a lot of different ways to approach zine making. And if you share your zines anywhere online or in person or whatever, and you want people to know about it, use the comment section as a discussion board, please, because a lot of people that watch my videos want to be exposed to more zine makers, and I do too. This is an ever-growing and evolving community, and I just am so excited to hear what you guys are creating. Remember to be kind to everyone, because you have no idea what people are going through, and it always pays to be nice, especially to yourself. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. I said guides a lot, huh? I said y'all, you all, y'all.